hygiene certificate. I could drink with it, but you can't find it.
Now this of course was way before its time, terribly modern, tilt cab, very comfortable, followed on from the Thames Trader. Well, this was the cab that superseded it in the Foden range, and as you can see looks much more modern.
The point about the coach building is overall Lloyd cabins were built as chassis only at the Dodge factory, and every car was sent out to a landline coverage. make all their own costumes. They're still talking to their books and the road appreciate it. I know it seems to me, but I think that's going to come back to us on what the band's going to do it on going there. So enjoy the afternoon, keep looking at the board, and don't appreciate it. You have children, pretty soon we can take them back. Once again, still have my favorite dancers. Please still be careful.
Oh, don't you worry, mate. Didn't start.
Right, well that bodes well for us, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Lloyd has put his glasses on, which means you can see what's happening, and that's always helpful. Bill Kittle is just creeping round the corner there with that half-size McLaren. Now, it's quite interesting, we've got the half-size, and over in the fairground, of course, we've got the full-size. Goliath, which has come down all the way from Aberdeen to join us here at Welland. I was talking to Mike Greelan yesterday, the owner, and he's enjoying himself hugely. Alan, you're going to have to do your washing act again.
We'll wait for him to settle, Andrew. He's just still out the window, so that's right. Shut the window.
I've made an executive decision and I've closed the window.
Very good.
Yes, here we are, 6-inch McLaren.
You can see that this engine, ladies and gentlemen, leading the miniature parade, is written up pound. You will see this little model, number 38, goes round the ring, ladies and gentlemen, but it has two shiny discs at the front covering the two cylinders, and they're on an incline. And that signifies that it is a single crank compound. I suspect that later on in the parade of big engines we might have a chance to describe in more detail what we mean by single crank compound.
Now we've got a Foden Nova type wagon. This is 3-inch scale, so that's 1/4 full size. And you can see they're very practical and very enjoyable things to have. You can take it home in the back of a decent sized van, but at the same time you can have a lot of fun using it, pulling things around.
And a lovely model trailer behind that one. Andrew, did he call you up yesterday, didn't he?
It did. It's a Ross-On owner. I should have known better. The compound, off-hand. There's a lovely big Foster engine here, agricultural engine, Harold Hodgson's engine, yeah.
And then we have this rather splendid combination of the Burrell single towing two traction wagons. And I remarked yesterday, I wasn't quite sure if the dog is assisting or not.
He doesn't know about engines. Another nice Burrell, went fast, and we've got another talk about that when we come to that.
We might even see too if Dave Roberts pulls his finger out.
Hit the cutter's torch.
And sadly, Andrew, after she entered preservation, of course.
Yes, that's right.
Whether it be with traction engines or indeed with miniature railway.
And here's Carl, he's on the same job. And that beautiful Burrell Scenic Showman. Oh my goodness, Billy's in steam, 2 days on the trot.
Is this a record, I ask myself and you, Andrew?
Got to be getting on that way, yeah.
Where's the missus today, Bill?
Knitting? Yeah.
Across the block. When they are horizontally aligned, the large and the small, like this.
The trailer, I think.
I suppose that's the miniature version of having a Land Rover on the back of the road train and occasionally making use of it.
Yeah. I know, I remember we went to one particular rally with the evening tractor and the ground was very greasy. And we hitched the Land Rover on the back on its A-frame, and I sat in the Land Rover in four-wheel drive. It was quite surprising how much it helped the engine through the slippy bits.
One or two of the lads, when I used to do a lot of road work, and several of us used to travel together from show to show with our rollers, used to develop the technique of the man in the Land Rover would do the job lying down, so the video cameras and photographers, the camera never lies, that indeed somebody was pushing with the Land Rover.
We were on tow behind the engine, and we used to single man the engine, and we got into the middle of Offaly, and we'd arranged that I would get out of the Land Rover and go and do some shopping, and he would wait for me around the corner. I got out the Land Rover, he said, the woman in the car behind me. Anyway, a couple of parish notices. Bob Leeson. Bob, yeah, it doesn't say that. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, it really is true. So, Bob, you're in the restaurant. Somebody left their Mercedes key in the restaurant. So, if you have a quick search in your pockets, when you get that sinking feeling, if you're lucky, your key is in the restaurant.
If you nip round there and see the head waiter, he might like it. You can even book a table for tonight.
There's a bloke running across the bottom of the showground. I'll bet you that's Bob Leeson.
And he is coming from the direction of the beer tent, Andrew. Of 750 rounds a minute. There will be more of that later in the show when you see multiple 50 calibers. He's just going to park up in the middle now. The end of the barrel with the slots in is to deflect the smoke back and the flame. Preferred diesels, not only was it more economical of course, but it was safer from the fire hazards. Because if you recall, the Sherman tanks of World War II were petrol, like the Hellcat is, and they suffered from burnout because they got hit. This is a 432 armoured personnel carrier. These, as I say, were personnel carrier. They were 15 years after World War II. Another extremely rare beast which made its first appearance here last year from the same owner, Tim Chance. This is was used by the German army, but in rough terrain, go anywhere. This one is a white half-track. Another manufacturer, International, made us so very little about this, but again, an APC, armoured personnel carrier, fast and nimble, an amphibious vehicle, made in the centre, which is unusual for any military vehicle, as we know, so they fall into historic mode almost. This one is Rover, with heavy-duty springs and suspension all round, and the colour pink, the first British Army with telescopic forks, and one of the first British bikes to have telescopic forks. They were much favoured by the services because they were much easier to ride and much more comfortable with the telescopic forks. About 1941 they were introduced, so very early telescopic forks. Put into civilian use. I told him you've got another one at home. Thousands of these were made during World War II. Extremely torquey. Go four-wheel drive. Then I think we got the largest vehicle and the last vehicle coming in now. I can't see what's happening, but I can imagine. Oh, bloody hell. And now the flat pack Fiat Punto. The other one's having none of it. So he's going to be cheeky and give him a little push on it. No, he's going to get away from him this time. He's following him around. He's come off. Getting away from him now. There he is, backwards at it.
Catch him up in reverse. Got to go, sir. Woo. Airborne. Talk about airborne Land Rovers. Let another go down. Not happy with that. Nudge, nudge. Oh dear, things trying to drop off now. Still going. Catch him up. Not so. You're going good. Catch it. I think it's close to banging him back. Oh, I think he had to please come out there. He's giving up the ghost now. Now he's doing explosive. Here we go, 34 tons. Wow. Magic. 3, get right there. One more go. Oh, you're just flowing there. Angle of approach hopefully this time. Go slowly, slowly. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yes. My colleague in the box has pointed out that anybody listening to this on Welland Radio, 89.9, might be wondering what on earth is going on, but we are at the Welland Steam Rally and we have just had an ex-army tank crashing cars. Bit of a pause in the last week. Thanks to Holden. There's been much discussion over the years about what these nominal weights actually mean, but now his son Rob, who has been associated with this engine all his life, is now extremely competent as an engineman, has passed his Group B driving licence, which means that he is now licensed to drive road rollers on the road. This is another one of the lads holding the regulator under very, very close supervision from Rob. If you're interested, if you have children who'd love to get involved, they can sign up and join the Chief Apprentice Club, which is run by the National Tax Apprentice Club. And we aim to put youngsters in touch, which helps clubs. That lovely big Marshall. Now that's the Colonial engine, and whereabouts did it come from? Haven't a clue, offhand. Australia? I would imagine so. Marshals were very big in Australia, as I mentioned before. My family were involved in the shipping and selling of them over there. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it is a Colonial style road locomotive with a compound motion, with the solid flywheel. And as he pointed out, it should be the other way around. We had the demolition, now we need the rolling. You can tell it's a partner, of course. Well, we can't get used to them, but the other thing to look for is on the front oil fitted, and they make for a roller a very roadable engine, Andrew. Yes, I always love the story about one friend of mine, John Crowther, bought the DNV off of the sea. I said, now what does this roll away? And he grinned a bit and he said, he said, are you from Huddersfield Corporation? Or thing from the governor if it's sent off to the wrong council with the wrong weight plate on. I imagine he would, yes. Yeah. Now then, yesterday we were talking, we mentioned in passing about Wallace and Stevens' expansion system, and here is an engine demonstrating just that. And the principle of the expansion system, which is unique to Wallace and Stevens, was that it was to make the engine much more economic. 2 sets of valves here, doing rather odd things on the near side, between the crank and the flywheel, and that is what makes the expansion engine unique among traction engines generally. Rob coming round again now with the Aisling roller. We've got engines going in all directions at the moment, but
supervision. And then Sam Shardlow is sitting on the ransoms there, always immaculately turned out with a Calypso shirt. And a different one every year, I think, Jonathan. Now, you said yesterday we hadn't got a tasker. Here is one.
Here it is, yes, the Glidden.
These conventional traction engines on the road. And if you are on a road run and keep up with a chain drive, you're doing very well. Well, I have to say, Andrew, Rob did just that a fortnight ago on a run over the hills. He was overtaken by the chain drive at the bottom of Hollybush, and by the time he got to Rye Crossing, he'd
Everything you would have seen on the road in the 1920s, 1930s. Somewhere like Exel would have had a whole string of these trailers, or wagons as I should correctly call them before my colleague tells me. And of course some would be in the works being loaded, some would be out with the engine, and then they'd come back and swap over.
I think that is my favourite thing exhibit on the field this year.
And just a couple of wood blocks rubbing on the back wheels of the engine and on the back wheels of each of the wagons. So braking was always a consideration, and there would be occasions when they would come to a steep hill and they would have taken the wagons up one at a time or down.
And they were intended to be operated by one man under 5 tons in weight, which of course most manufacturers are having to paint on in order to get a weighbridge nearby.
Garrett Agricultural now, Bouleveau. Garrett's of Leiston in Suffolk, one of the many manufacturers which made
Aveling, which is the compound version of the one we saw earlier, the C-type. Aveling's had a logical nomenclature system for their rollers.
Loco. This came back from Australia, I think, as a pile of bits, and Steve and Debbie Saunders had it for quite a few years down in Cornwall and got it back up together, and it changed hands last year. It's gone up into Cheshire now, but very fine, big, heavy haulage engine. Another sorry, go on, yes, you carry on.
Another McLaren here, Andrew. This is a delightful class of engine. It's a 5 horsepower. With it, we would have done extracting from the woods with a winch.
Now, a lovely little engine. Some of you probably recognise this engine from the Cole funeral advert, of all things. Made in Shrewsbury, a 2-cylinder engine mounted underneath under the chassis with chain drive down to the back wheels. In the colours of Morris's, they ran 4 of these in the manufacturers were in their heyday. Immediately followed, we've got the W family, and this of course is the Ford Nova type, where you've got all